Acid by Drew Estate.
All right, you ready?
Can't ever miss with these guys. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? My name is Big Skoom.
Parmesan with Don.
Welcome to Skoom Speech, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. So, I got a topic I want to start this with.
All right.
First, let's set some context.
All right.
So, right, when people tell stories, is it more about the story itself? Is it more about the symbolism of the story? First, we'll start with that.
I guess it depends on the kind of thing they're trying to convey, whatever they're trying to get across, right? Like, what would I want you to take away from a story I'm going to share with you? I guess would be.
Okay, well, all right, that's a pretty in-depth question, because right, you could be telling a story and maybe you don't want to say every detail, you just want to get the main parts, and then yeah, maybe there's symbolism in it or something.
Because there's some stories where, you know, you want to get an emotion out of or something, maybe to get a point across, right? Oh, you like to drink and drive, but let me tell you a story why drinking and driving really isn't good.
Okay.
So it varies, really. I think it depends on the eye of the beholder, the person that's sharing the story.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So it was a leading question. Here's where I want to go with this. I'm thinking about symbolism, the symbolism of a story, which is kind of hard to do maybe for like a story like, oh, this is what happened 10 years ago. There may not be a symbol in it, but here's where I'm going.
Right.
The symbolism of the Adam and Eve story.
Okay, good. I was just talking to somebody about this earlier today, dude. I swear I'm always popping out with these type of stories, but I think where you're going with this, I want to know.
So,
yeah.
Right, we'll set the stage. It's Garden of Eden. There's a man made by God, right? God uses man to make woman, right? Everything.
Yeah.
The serpent comes along, deceives them, right, or whatever.
Right.
So here's some symbolism about the story. So man before that, right, didn't know they were going to die and things like that, right? They were going to live forever. Well, they were going to live forever.
Yeah.
So once they ate the fruit, right, they had all this acknowledgement, and you know, here's how I see it.
Okay.
So they realized about time, right? They're like, damn, like, I'm going to die one day.
Yeah, now you have a perception of time. Unlike an animal, who thinks, what is tomorrow?
Exactly.
I look at my dog all the time in the morning. I'm like, I wonder what the hell my dog wonders about.
That's a good point.
You know?
So, yeah, they're like, dang, like, I'm going to die one day. Like, dang, I got to eat food. Like, I need to maybe make a farm. I need food to eat tomorrow. I'm going to be hungry in 2 hours.
I know in my case, I always hungry.
So it's interesting because, right, a lot of people see that as the downfall of man, but maybe it's almost the opposite.
Maybe that's the wisdom of man?
Yeah.
Right.
Because now they're like, dang, I got to sacrifice for the future. I got to go to bed early, right? Because I got to wake up and go fish before all the fish are gone or just whatever.
Yeah, I know. Certain parts of their day, it's hard to catch fish or even hunt, you know. That's why people normally go deer hunting. Either I think it's dusk the night before or really early in the morning before.
Okay.
You know.
So check this out how like, people have this bad idea about money, right?
Yeah.
Most people are like, money's the root of all evil, and people are so greedy about it.
Yeah.
Now that men realize that we have to sacrifice for tomorrow and stuff, that's exactly what money is, dude. I'm like, hey, I can work right now for 10 hours in a day, and that way I'll receive this money that I can use for that sacrifice of 10 hours.
Yeah, right.
Like, think how important that is.
So that's what I was just thinking about to myself today, too, is like, okay, there's ways to work for money, then there's ways to make money work for you. And it's like, well, if you're waking up and going to work for 10 hours, 8 hours, 4 hours a day, whatever the time may be, even 20 minutes, right? You're sacrificing yourself, your health. I know whenever I wake up every day, I'm sore, I hurt. So I'm like, all right, so you can either do that and you're still sacrificing something, or you sacrifice some of your income into investing into something, a small amount here or there, and then make the money then start to work for you. Because you and I have big plans of both having multi forms of income, you know.
Yeah.
We're not, obviously, how can you make more money in multiple places, but you're only one human? That's how.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier.
It just bothers me to hear how some people like just have this bad relationship with money. I'm like, what else? Like, how else would you want it? What, you want to work for 10 days or for 10 hours?
Yeah.
And tomorrow have no guarantee for that work you've done?
Right.
Like, oh, yeah, you worked. Right. Like, you can't use that right now. It doesn't help you today. Like, you need money.
You know, you being a salesman yourself, you're someone that runs in this probably often. You know, you are a salesman, and all sales run into that. If you get paid for commission pay or whatever, but it's not gonna be paid to you until it's either completed, or if you're a car salesman, until this car is off the lot.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
you don't even work so much for an hourly rate all the time.
Yeah.
You know, there's a good portion of the time where you're a salesman and you're like, okay, cool, I got a sale, but now I'll see that in 6 months.
Sales is interesting because people just, probably me included, like, we have this fear of letting go of our money. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, like, I gotta get rid of this. I gotta use it now.
Because it comes so sparsely, like, so far between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because when I was doing sales on the side of the things that I was getting into, dude, it was in the same way. And I was like, there's no way. And then it seemed like, because the money that I quoted, I was also seeing go back into the project I was working on.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, dang, you know, I just grossed this much money,
Yeah.
but really, I only really brought home this much because I had to buy products or whatever it was for this sale to be, you know, fulfilled to the customer's liking, you know.
That's like so many people have the ambition to start a business, like right off the jump, and I don't really think it's a good idea. Like, just the point you made is, I guess, apparently true. Like, I hear like 90 or 95% of the money that a business makes uses that to keep the business going, and the other 5% is potential profit.
Absolutely. Unless your baby girl needs some shoes, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even profit, it's money that you can count by.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, cool, I quoted this out for this much, and this much is what I got out of it, but yeah, I need tires for the car. You know, something is always there. There's always something.
Yeah, when people say like, oh yeah, I want to start a business to get rich, I don't know, I never really think it's a great idea to get rich, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the best idea to chase comfortability.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's two people who start a business. There's one who's like, yeah, I'm going to get rich. Yeah. And the other one's like, I have to work 10 hours a day. I'd rather do it for myself than someone else.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I guess
I can definitely relate on both boats to where, you know, sometimes, but is it selfish to believe that you two deserve to be rich?
That's a great question. I mean, there's a couple ways to unpack it, that question.
Yeah, that's a deep question. I agree.
I mean, as of right now, I'm not a religious person, but when I definitely was, I was talking to this with someone who's really religious, and they were like, well, God wants you to be rich or to have nice things. So
how could that be true if God's not materialistic? He's spiritual.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would relate to that, whatever, parable, whatever, where you know where I'm going with this in a sec. They have the 3 farmers, and he gives them, like, each one, like, different amount of seeds, and one multiplied the seed, the other one kept it the same amount, and one multiplied it by, like, 2, one multiplied it by, like, half, and the other one
maybe just
saved it, and just grew the one plant.
Yeah.
And, like, God was supposed to be, like, you know, he's, like, let down by the one guy, and he's like, yeah, I should have just gave this to the other guys who multiplied it or whatever, so.
Right. I guess, you know, that's such a deep concept that I think maybe it would just work for each individual person.
Yeah, I mean,
it's super subjective, you know.
I mean, money's interesting. There's this one guy who I really like. A public speaker's not around anymore, and he's like, money could buy you a home, but it can't buy you a good night's sleep.
Right.
It could buy you a friend, or it could buy you like an acquaintance, but not a friend, like something like that. And
well, the difference of being genuine versus, what's the opposite of genuine?
Deceitful?
Superficial?
Or superficial is good too, or deceitful maybe?
Deceitful maybe.
So what was your original question though? It's about money?
No, actually, well, it actually follows up to your opening question a lot better than this this money conversation we went off to. So my first question was, do you think humans are inherently good or evil?
I'll watch this. All right, so
I'll need your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'll go sick on this question. So, as I said, I'm not a religious person. So, let's almost bring it to evolution.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
the body
Yep.
has, let's use pain. The body feels pain.
Of course.
The body feels joy.
Right.
So I think consciousness sort of evolved with that, because of that. So let's say I put something hot, my body's like, that's hot.
Yeah.
Now my brain starts to think of ways to avoid that because my body got hurt.
Okay.
Well, it's joy. This felt good, my body liked it. I'm thinking of other ways of how to feel it again, or other ways where I felt like that. So I feel like consciousness developed because of the body. I don't know. It's, as of right now, I don't know if to say, oh, it came from God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in soul or spirit anymore, believe it or not.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I guess I've learned a lot. I took in a bunch of information. So, yeah, to think it was given by God, that's not how I feel. So, I guess when that comes to bad or good, I mean, bad and good, I still have
struggles with.
I wouldn't say struggles with, but
I do sometimes.
Well, so last episode we were talking about will to power.
Yeah.
Hopefully you remember.
Yeah.
So I think, man, bad and good. The only reason why bad and good exists has to do with the community.
Somebody in the community said what you just did was wrong. Right?
Yeah. So bad and good has changed over time. I guess a long time ago, it was directly. Well, check this out. A long time ago, it was directly linked to the consequence.
Yeah.
If you do this, if you do this, and it led to something bad happen, God deemed it bad.
Yeah.
Now it's changed. Now it doesn't mean that anymore. Now it means when you did this, what was your intention, or the cause and the effect. So the cause, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
The effect was this. Your intention of it is now what makes you a bad person. It used to just be the effect. I did this and nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
That was wrong. Now it's, you were planning to do it, or you thought about doing it. Yeah. Where it comes from is now wrong. And so just the point that it can change, and then like you said, it has to do with the community. Yeah. The collective group was evolution. The collective group was chirping in everyone's ear. Oh yeah, you better not do that. You better not do this. And, that's kind of what I think the consciousness as well. Years, millennia, times of time of people whispering in your ear, this is bad, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. I think that voice, evolved, developed to be inside of ourselves as well in consciousness.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that, because saying how we operate off of consciousness is the same reason why you and I had this conversation before a long time ago, of why you could look at a lion and be like, lions are not good to humans because what they'll do to you, and they won't feel bad for it or anything. So that comes down lineage of, all right, somewhere in one of our lineages, we had lion killers in our family, but then again, we had a lot of people get messed up as some lions. So it's okay, so they're in the wild, and you're like, oh shoot, this could be bad quick.
Yeah.
It's that consciousness, I don't think it's so much of, because whenever you actually feel this in the moment, in your heart, like you're sitting in a hammock in the woods, and you see or hear a bear breaking branches fall away, you get like that, your heart drops, and you're like, this could be bad this quick, So dude, that comes from somewhere. Instinct to something.
Well, that's exactly where I was going with that. It's the instinct. You know the book Think and Grow Rich, right? Of course. Mm-hmm. So in that book, for example, Napoleon Hill, he talks about, I know Freud calls it like the collective unconscious. I can't remember what Napoleon Hill calls it, but in that book,
the shadow.
No. That's Carl Jung, which is good too. But so instinct, he theorized, comes from the collective unconscious. I forgot what Napoleon Hill called it. So here's where I'm going with this. Yeah. So back in the day, right, people came out of their huts and saw a lion and thought, oh my God, that's a scary thing. Holy crap.
Giant cat.
So in the book, he kind of theorizes that those thoughts are no different from like this table. Like the tables we can touch and see. The thought is
non-tangible.
In a way, yeah, definitely he believes not tangible. Like it's still tangible, can still be reached and touched and grabbed. like with the mind.
Okay.
So when they saw that and thought, oh my God, this lion, holy crap, it's going to eat me, this is scary, that thought like went into like this cloud type of thing.
Yeah.
And that cloud's like above us right now, like the smoke is.
Yeah.
And then now when I see a lion, that just hits me. Like,
and it's a strong emotion.
Yeah, exactly. It's just there out in that space of thought or whatever. And that's where he kind of thinks where instincts come from. Instinct comes from. Yep. Well, let's go back to your question really quick.
Okay, so are humans inherently good or evil is the question. In case you didn't
well, hold on, I'm going to reframe it. So,
yep, go for it. I feel comfortable to answer it.
So, I think it's smart.
Guys, I don't believe in right and wrong answers with anything. I believe coming to me understanding what he thinks and him understanding what I think, and we're not here to change each other's minds or anyone else's. Have your own thought.
Life's like a game. Mm-hmm. There's a couple ways to relate that. There's this one guy, Piaget, who like talked about this. So here's a couple ways to relate it. One, he worked with kids a lot. Let's say there's a bunch of kids playing, 4 or 5 kids playing. Yeah. Let's say we grab one kid off to the side and we ask him, we say, hey, what are the rules for that game? He's like, well, what do you think he'd say?
What game?
Exactly.
How old did you say?
Exactly.
Certain age groups don't start to understand the rules or how to play correctly until certain ages.
You're 100% right. Yeah. The kid would be like, I don't know.
Right. I was that kid for a long time.
He'd be like, exactly. The kid would be like, I don't know. And so, for example, that's a lot how life is. Yeah. Like, what are the rules to life? I don't really know. Right. I don't hurt anybody. I don't really know. And so that's just one way how life can relate as a game. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people could agree that it does look like a game. Yeah. So the smart thing to do with a game is try to define the game like as easy as possible and with like as less rules as possible. Yeah. Let's say we want to play a fun game. Yeah. If we do 100 rules, you're like, it doesn't really sound too fun. Yeah, right.
Lost interest.
Yeah, it's just
not so strict.
So now we can do that with life. Calling life a game. Let's try to define this game in as little rules as possible. Go back to the word of power. Okay. I think that's the really, not the one and only rule, but the most fundamental rule, the root of the tree that all the branches stem from. Yeah. Every decision you make, I feel, is rooted in the word of power. So where I'm kind of going with this, and it's hard to say because there's extreme outliers, but I don't know, I think right and wrong, I think right is more or less, since that one rule, is doing something that's going to exercise or use your power. And I think if you're doing something wrong, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not capable or not using your will to power or your seek for power, the power you've gained through life or anything like that. So that's kind of what I think right and wrong is.
I definitely agree with you.
Really? Like, killing someone? Like, because you can go all extreme like that.
Yeah, people normally, I do, we take things to extreme to prove a point, but I think that sometimes it's easier to keep something as simply and plainly said, sometimes just to keep it we still got to your point and what you try to get across. I look at life like a circle. Yeah. I know you do. Good on one side, evil on the other, and I try to walk as much in the middle and think on both drastics as possible. What is a perfect day to you, and what is the worst day you could ever imagine? Right? Yeah. So if you had heaven on earth, what would that look like on one side of the circle? And you had hell on earth for one whole day. What would that look like on one side of the circle? And then you try to walk somewhere in the middle, not to go too close to the ice to get cold or too close to the fire to get burnt. Yeah. So you end up standing somewhere in the middle, but understanding on how drastic it is. I think that would be my only way to really answer that question. But I think that you went into detail on that, and it was great.
There's a couple of things. I'm going to bring up religion in a sec, because now you got me talking, man. So,
good. I got 2 more questions, too, so keep going.
So calling life a game again.
Yeah. Was that learning the game of life, the book?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I have one. I just started it again, but I haven't finished it yet. So it's a good one.
So what they talk about is playing a game where people want to invite you to play another game after.
Yeah. Being a good partner, right? Or a team player.
Good sport.
A good sport?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
That is kind of a good way to act in the world.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, if you're interacting or playing games with people, social games, like, I'm sure you know what I mean by social games, because obviously adults don't play games anymore, but it's kind of like a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just interacting in a way where people want to invite you to come play again.
Oh.
So,
I call it mental chess,
oh yeah, it's good.
you know? Because that's really what it is.
So let's talk religion. Let's have a debate. You feel like debating?
Go for it, sure.
So, some Jehovah's Witnesses came to my door last week, and I listened to them at one point. I'm like, I'm not a religious person. I'm not interested in a handout, and I started talking with them because I'm a very opinionated person.
Yeah.
So,
and you never turned down the opportunity to learn, which I always admire.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, and this is what I've been reading, and this is also how I feel. So much to talk about. So, we'll go to sales.
I like sales.
How do you sell? You do landscaping sales.
Yeah.
How do you sell a landscaping job? And try to sum it up in a couple sentences possible.
Okay. So if I were to keep this as short and simple as possible,
what are you doing?
I would want to walk around the whole property.
Well, no. What are you doing? Why? What are you doing when you're trying to sell this landscaping job?
I'm trying to sell myself.
All right. So
there's 100 other companies.
Here's also what you're doing.
Okay.
You're also selling a dream.
Okay. To the customer.
Yeah, because they need something, right? They need their lawn done.
Yep. Exactly.
For example.
That's what I was going to say, but in a roundabout way.
Yep. You are selling a dream.
Yeah.
Your lawn will look like this.
Yeah.
You're looking for a lawn like this. Your lawn's going to look like this. Whatever. Sales.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what sales are, for example.
Yeah. Selling a dream to the customer.
Exactly. And I believe that's exactly what religion does. Well, that is what religion does.
Okay.
And
the sells a dream?
100%.
Okay.
So one of the main points the guy was trying to make over and over and over again, he's like, yeah, humans live like 70 or 80 years. Like, he's like, I just don't feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying, what's better than an everlasting life? Essentially, he's like, we don't live long. What could be better than not dying forever? Okay. Basically, is what he's saying. Okay. And I already thought this. And in my head, as he's saying this, I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, that sounds like a great dream. It sounds like it sounds like a great dream. It is a dream. I mean, it is a dream. Who doesn't want that? It's a dream.
So you said to fall for it, though. With you saying that, it sounds like it.
No.
Like,
no way. No way.
Even if we argue for 80 years, is there a way you're going to boycott it to stop it? Like, let me know. Because what I said, I live every day to its fullest. I enjoy my cigars, I dress up and whatever. And I have conversations I enjoy to have. And every day could be my last, and I agree with that.
I believe you're an exceptional person.
Yeah.
You're very different.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the opposite of what religion wants people to do. Oh. The opposite.
Maybe, right?
What
do they want them to do? Well, I mean, religion? They want you to be afraid of dying?
Religion. I'm talking about the Nietzsche guy that I talked about last episode. He calls it a death cult. And I agree.
COT?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a death cult. Because I have this dream life, not this life.
Not this one here.
Well, yeah, no,
you might not be able to even achieve.
Well, I mean, yeah, so I have this dream life that's way more important than this life. This life means nothing compared to this heaven, eternal bliss, everything. And just that statement alone, subliminally, latently, discredits this life.
Yeah.
Obviously, you feel different. I know you feel different. You're a free thinker.
Yeah, of course.
But when most people say those type of things and have that kind of conviction and faith, you are also saying that this life doesn't mean as much as that life.
Which is turning yourself into a mental slave of something you'll never be able to achieve right now, so why not just be ready for the next life? Right? Oh, you don't like the car you just bought this time, but the next car you're going to get still one. Dude, I can tell you 7 times to sell you a bunch of Honda Civics, bro.
That's a great point.
Get out of here.
That's a great point. And the same point you made. It wouldn't allow you to appreciate the Honda Civic you have now.
Yeah, exactly. And 2027 might be better.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so And so I'm kind of like debating with him almost. I'm like 7 to 8 years, like that is fair. Like how's that not fair? She doesn't, to me, it almost felt wrong to ask and want more.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, that's true too.
That's
greedy, right?
Well, yeah, and I didn't even have that type of thought because, like I said, I did some reading, but I didn't form an opinion. But so I'm like coming to my own, like having my own epiphanies as he's talking to me. Yeah. I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong to have 70, 80 years gifted to you, and then to be like ungrateful for it, not think it's enough. So he's like, oh yeah, like these homes you've had, like someone else lived in that home, and when you die, someone else is gonna live in that home. Imagine a home for yourself that no one can live for. Or no one can live, like it's yours forever. I'm like, so selfish, like that's so wrong. I'm like, I just gotta get off my lawn. It's like childish. It's selfish. It's
I don't know a question of this kind of guy. Like, I don't know this. I could ask you all the questions, but you and I aren't gonna come to the conclusion that this guy would obviously have. But there's so much you could ask. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
It kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, for example, I'm a flat earther. I believe in flat earth. Yeah. And
that's okay, guys. It's okay to have your own opinion. Not everyone has to believe what you believe or what I believe.
It just, sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it hurts for like to hear people like consensuses, and like that's how we work with social beings, like with morality. Right. Like we all know this is wrong, so let it be wrong. Right. And we all know we're all floating on a ball through time and space. Right. It's that. Let it be that. Just that type of thinking, it hurts my heart.
It's some kind of shape. Does anybody really know?
That's a great point.
Is it an egg? I've heard egg theory, and honestly, I would believe it. And then I've been having there, and I was like, okay,
drinking the Kool-Aid, stirring the Kool-Aid, mixing the Kool-Aid.
You never know, and I always say you never know, because I don't really know. Like, I can say, we can get it to many debates, right? And still, at the end of every day, I might lay down and ask a series of questions, and we just debated for 12 hours. Yeah. You know, maybe I took bits and pieces, and kept it, okay, this might be good for future knowledge, or just maybe not. You know, I don't look at anybody and say, oh, you're just full of whatever. Yeah. Because I don't believe anybody's always full of whatever, because obviously, if they believe it enough, they're willing to share.
I mean, I don't know, man. People, but I got two good sayings. Yeah. You've probably heard this one. Okay. It's like, a man changed against his will is of the same opinion still.
Probably.
And then another good saying is, people don't change their minds, they make new decisions.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah.
I heard that one.
Okay.
I always make new decisions based off of knowing how somebody might perceive something, you know? Like, okay, bet. So they perceive it this way, so I'm going to readjust myself, reanalyze my demeanor towards them, so they no longer perceive me or my thought process that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another good saying. Yeah. People don't have ideas, ideas have people.
Yeah. That's savage. That was always kind of messing me up a little bit. Yeah. Because I'm a deep thinker. I like to have these conversations with people, whoever it may be, anyone willing to have a conversation that's going to provoke a lot of thought, right? So if you're promoting a lot of thought, then I'm automatically thinking, okay, this guy, he thinks outside of the box, and he actually uses his brain, which a lot of people know. They just scroll endlessly, and their brain turns to mush slowly. And they're okay with this kind of thing. And I'm not okay with this kind of thing, so I don't have social media or anything. Yeah. And I just push through life that way, trying to find the next deep conversation. I can maybe help my grandfather or a business partner or whoever it may be. And that is why. Because together we can grow. But that, what you just said, people that have thoughts have people, has always messed with me, because I'm like, man, I'm always searching for that thought. So, is it a certain point in time in your life that this thought comes to you now?
That's a good one.
You know?
That's kind of what it's floating out there. Right. Every thought that's ever been.
So it means that everything that Nikola Tesla has achieved is still achievable. Yes, we can all agree. Okay. But you're going to get by somebody.
So, to talk about language, you made me think of this. Sorry if I'm talking too much. So, let's say you look at a tree, and it has leaves on it. Yeah, pretend we're looking at a big tree and it has a bunch of leaves. Yeah. Your brain doesn't know how many leaves are on that tree until you count them. Right?
Actually, it's a big trees. I wouldn't want to start counting some of these things.
You get the point, though.
Yeah, I definitely follow.
So your brain doesn't just know how many leaves are on there,
Well,
unless
you just think about if I had a jar of jelly beans and said you get the closest number, you get $100. And all jelly beans. So now what? Where are you going with this? I like it.
so. Since your brain doesn't know, and you have to use words to let it know.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, that just shows how your brain is controlled. Well, I shouldn't say brain. Thoughts are controlled by language. Because, like I said, you can look at a tree and not know how many leaves are on it. It doesn't just know. You have to use language to think about it to know.
Oh, yeah.
So, really, what I'm going with this is like, your brain can't have any thought.
Yeah.
Well, your thoughts are shaped by your language.
Usually verbally when you actually hear it.
No, like to have thoughts and conceptualize thoughts, you need to use language. Like you can't have any. You can't have any free thoughts
If you don't speak.
Well, no. If without language, like your language controls thoughts.
Yeah.
There is no thought without language.
Okay, so back to our thought, the little side thought earlier, my pet dog, he doesn't have words, so does he not think, he doesn't even know what a tree is. It's just an obstacle in the yard that he might lift his leg off.
I'd probably agree with you.
Right.
There's another good thing from a book. Well, I forgot the guy's name, I'm gonna ask you, see, because I didn't know until it was explained to me. What he said was, if you and a lion could both speak, the lion wouldn't understand you. Right? I'm like, yeah. I was like, what? What are you talking about? How's that a good point?
I guess it doesn't make sense though.
How?
Because, well, life experiences, period.
Well, no. Yeah, kind of basically what it meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Life experiences, period.
Yeah. He's talking about lion stuff. You're talking about human stuff. And yeah, you really understand it because it's random. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, he's not gonna be like that zebra lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We can play with it anyway.
I don't know. You're definitely more of an open mind than me because I couldn't get that until I was told what it meant in the book. I didn't understand what it meant at all. You got it instantly.
Yeah, that's right. To me, you know. All right, let's see. What does free will mean to you?
Let's see.
Shout out to my homie Will. No, it's fine.
I gotta think. We're going to my archives of literature.
All right.
Free will. Well, I mean, one free will. Everyone probably knows this. Thinks it. Obviously, free will is not. There's no such thing as free will, right?
I don't know. It's a good question. That is also a good question.
Well, I don't believe in free will.
It's all up for interpretation.
I don't believe in free will. I feel like, and I'm not using anything I read, just telling you how I feel.
Okay.
The opinion I formed in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like your brain makes a decision, and you go ahead and rationalize it with thought. I feel like, because I don't believe in soul or spirit.
Right.
I feel like the body is the ruler of the mind. I feel like the body rules the mind. There's no minds without bodies.
That's true.
I hope so.
Well, is a jellyfish a mind or a body?
I don't know, but I know there's amoebas who have. I'm pretty sure they have no brains. Something like that. They have bodies with no brains,
Okay.
but there is no brains with no bodies.
Right.
I guess when they make AI robots, like they need to have like
They
legs and all.
both.
Yeah, they have bodies.
And in a mind.
Apparently so.
A place to intellectually conjure thought, right? Well, I want to lift my finger. You need a brain to be able to say, really obviously not even verbally say it, but.
I think the body rules, and the mind works with the body, like how we talked about with pain, that pain of touching something hot, and now the mind's gotta say, oh man, that was hot. Let's think now of how not to do that again.
Get myself out of the situation,
Yep.
or vice versa.
So yeah, I think the body rules, then the brain catches up with it, and tries to work with the environment of the body.
Okay.
So free will, and hopefully you kind of get how I tied it to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you think?
I think that free will is something that we're told as individuals, right? So it's like, oh, you have free will, but there's rules that you have to follow and you can't do. So you have like rights, right? Like human rights.
Yeah.
Humans. Honestly, this is super opinionful of myself, but humans should never be bought, sold, or traded, right?
Okay.
Because humans have rights.
That's a very nice. Keep going.
What?
Keep going.
So,
My bad.
but that would be said, though, free will though still comes into play because people still use free will to still then sell said humans or whatever it might be, you know? Anything. I feel like, I don't know. I battled this one. That's why I wanted to throw this one in here. Free will, I think it is a thing. If I desire to live in the woods and move out of my house and go live in the woods, I have the free will to do so. I mean, taxpayers and whatever might come and try to find me, like, you're just a hobo living in the woods, whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I think that free will is a thing. Well, I know free will because I know about astral projection. I know you say you don't believe in the body, but somehow it's when the soul leaves your body, astral projection.
Okay.
And then you can look at yourself from a different point of the room where your body is laying on the couch and you're standing by the back door. That'd be free will. You have a will to even leave your body spiritually. I mean, out of body spiritual experience.
Well, that sounds like I heard you do was conflate free will and like loads of opinions as the same thing.
Yeah, having loads of opinions is what I did. I don't know. That's why I'm struggling with it.
Well, no, those aren't the same thing. Having loads of options and opinions is one thing.
Okay. Being
able to freely choose one of those options is another thing.
That is free will. I can choose which one I believe is most logical for myself then.
All right, let's say you can choose anyone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that you say this because I'm hearing something completely different, which is fine. Obviously, we're two different people.
Yeah.
And people make this argument. It's nothing new at all. But let's say you have option B and option A and option B.
Right.
And you, like, when did you decide you were going to choose option B?
At what point was probably when something desired you to pull it more that direction than versus A, you know?
You made desire sound like an outside thing.
Source.
That's what you made it sound like.
Well, yeah, because
it is.
It is.
So how's that your free will? Something outside of you. You just said not me. And
well, no, I'm saying like, what if one day I decided I get more pleasure from living in the woods?
No, don't make the argument muddy. You said option B.
Yeah.
You said a desire may make you want. I said when do you get to choose option B? You said when a desire, and then since you used that specific word, I was like, you make it sound like it's an outside thing.
Yeah.
Do you still agree?
No, I think desires truly come from inside. I don't think that it has to be influenced.
All right, so you get to choose option B when your desire comes to choose it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when do you get to choose option A?
Whenever you desire to. That's the free will, no?
I just feel like
what if I desire to go to work tomorrow versus I don't desire to go to work tomorrow, so then I decide in between of which I desire to do. And that's your free will.
Let's say you choose one. Yeah. Let's say you say, I'm going to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah. That's your free will to do so. You have a job and an ability to do so.
So you can choose that decision, and then, so you can tell yourself, hey, I can now choose the other decision. I just choose not to.
It's from free will.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just,
because you're not, well, okay, let's put it like this. If when you're financially strapped and you have to go to work, there's no question that then, well, rent's due on Monday and whatever, right? Some other stuff's going on in your life. We've all had those moments. The tires get stolen off the side of your road. Who knows? You got to replace all four. Boom. You have to go to work because you have to replace those things. But do you have to? What if you're okay with a little less? Okay, fudge that car, fudge those tires, fudge my job, quit it all, and start self-promoting. Make your own in-home studio.
Hold up. Before
it's free will.
Hold up.
Yeah.
It's dude, I feel like you really just defined an illusion. I can choose this right here, option B.
Okay.
I could choose option A. I could, if I desire 150% or 51%, 149%.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose this one because it's a 51%. And now I'm going to tell myself that I could have chose that other one, I just chose not to.
Right.
I feel like that's basically describing an illusion. That's like me showing you something, a picture, and you seeing one thing, and then saying, oh, it's not that, it's what you're seeing isn't that, it's actually this.
No, abstract art, of a butterfly and a butterfly knife.
Yeah, it's just, no, and then that's like, I feel like that's like an illusion.
It could be.
I mean, I feel like that you basically described that.
So do you think that the whole thing of life is not just one big illusion then?
Well, before we get to that, like, rational thought, I brought it up last episode. Rational thought
can't be.
Well, it bothers me. It bothers me in so many ways. Like what I talked about last time, like us humans walk around with our heads so high because we have such big brains.
And
and thumbs, and we're so capable of all these abstract thoughts, and we can think of future, past, present, and we can just think of all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it's helped us. But all we do is just fall back on that for everything.
Yeah.
Everything we do, we just fall back on that and say, oh yeah, we'll just rationalize and give me a second, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us human, and I'm not saying it's definitely not wrong or bad.
Right.
It's just
some people get paid a lot of money and just be told rational things.
I just wish there was another way to do things, and that doesn't make sense.
Well, I agree. I think that's why we started this whole endeavor, so we could watch back our own videos and try to see what we do different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so you got another question? One last one, right?
Yeah, one last question. What does success mean to you? I like this one because I know this is nothing more than self-opinion. There is no right or wrong answer at all.
Yeah.
What is success? Because it's super subjective. Every single human on earth, I hope, has a different answer to this question. Or else it's not worth asking anybody, because then we all have the same idea of success. And then just shut up and work, because we all have the same idea of what this is going to turn out to be.
You'll go after me?
Yeah.
All right. So we all battle with why live. Why keep going? We all drive and sometimes see a big cliff, like one time in the past, and just in life in general. We drive and see a cliff and like, oh man, like I can just drive off that right now. No, that's stupid. That's dumb.
Right.
The point I'm making is we all think, why keep going? Why keep going? Life's pain, why keep going?
Yeah.
So for me, and as you know, right, I talk about will to power.
Yeah.
Success to me is, I mean, it's to talk about it fundamentally without specifics.
Okay.
That one rule. It's me getting a bunch of power and using it, essentially.
Okay. Well, so gain power and use it as you feel desired, or just use it correctly, or...
It's a good question.
I don't think you would know that answer until you were in that position, huh?
What was the question?
To get all the power and then use it as you will, as you wish, if you will, right? And harsh with an iron fist, or loving with pillows and whatever, rainbows. Ruling in one or the other way would be your desire, and you would act it as you felt fit, but you won't know that answer till you get there, I think.
Well, specific to me, we can talk about specifically to me and in general.
Okay.
I'm not a super bad guy. Like, I don't want to hurt people. But I have a lot of thoughts that, whatever, are irrational and don't make sense.
Yeah.
And will probably get me looked at a bunch of people.
Welcome to being human.
So, I mean, yeah, in general speaking first, I don't think it's wrong for anyone to get a bunch of power and use it any way they want.
Yeah, right.
And if that includes bad, I don't think that's, well, who am I to judge? I don't think that's,
that's a good point too.
I mean, that's how I feel about that. And then specific to me, I want to lead people.
Yeah.
So here's what I think is like one of the most important things to leadership.
Okay.
Most important thing.
Yep.
I think to be a good leader, you need to be able you're the leader, here's your subjects. A good leader needs to know what it takes from their subjects to follow the leader.
Yeah.
How it plays on them emotionally, whatever, their time, everything, their effort. Maybe it costs money for them to follow you, just whatever. I feel like that's what makes a good leader. He has the mindfulness to understand, hey, I have people who follow me. I'm 100% aware, conscious, and working with what it takes for them to follow me and to keep following me.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you do that, you'll definitely be a good leader, and I also think it would equate to a good person as well.
Success. That's where your success all ties into this.
What to me specifically?
Being a leader would equate to being successful, right? You becoming successful means that you have the capability of being a leader, right? And then,
For me, yeah.
So you answered both my questions really well. You said, well, I want to be a leader and have the most positive outcome of it, right? So operating off of positivity, usually, right? With the best idea of how my chess pieces can also benefit off of me being a leader to then said continue to be a leader.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I think it's a really good answer.
one of the worst things, I can only imagine working so hard to get a spot of leadership and power to only have it for a short amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be pretty sad. So what about you? So, success.
Success to me is when I'm able to hopefully provide for others, you know, like generational wealth, if you will. So running several businesses and having younger family members or even my future children getting this and running it. And I know that if we keep it close-knit and everybody has the correct intentions behind it, then it will most likely be successful. I know that everyone always says, oh, keep family and work separate, you know, and that really works well. Okay, well, that's something I'm willing to gamble with as far as it goes of building them up under good principalities, and how this will work correctly is if we're all on the same page, and you don't go greedy and you try to keep longevity more so than greed, you know, like the rich overnight schemes and things like that. So like opening a coffee shop, if it was my daughter, I would say, look, you're gonna have to work for $16 an hour until we make enough profit, then you can make $20 an hour, and so on and so forth, right? We teach them how to balance their own money and stuff like that, to where you don't have to worry about them coming to you and saying, Dad, I need $1,000 because I'm late on rent. You know, I don't want to deal with that with my kids. I want my kids to be able to be conscious enough to where, of their own actions, to where they can balance things and make sure all of their own responsibilities are covered on time. And I think it's possible. I think that it's going to take a really good leader, like you were saying, to make it possible for generational wealth and them to be self-reliant off of something that you begin, to where they're able to pick up where you left off and then do it again for their kids.
So it's like kind of almost similar. Success to you is being a leader.
Being a leader, I agree. I mean, it kind of goes back to Darwinism whenever you have like the one person in control and whatever, you know?
Okay.
Darwinism, you know?
I don't know if that's Darwinism. I don't like that guy, seriously, but
well, I guess that's what it would go back into, right? I mean, without one person and trying to keep whatever kind of power it would be, if it is financial power, you know? But of concept anyway, because I do believe that is what success is. I do believe that success is being able to pass something down to your children. And if there's a life after death, nobody really knows. Nobody alive right now can tell you if there's life after death, right?
Yeah.
That really honestly knows. That's ever seen a face after they've closed their eyes forever. No one knows, right? So I believe that life after death is guaranteed if your name is brought up generations down the road. Oh, we're opening this coffee shop again in this location in a different state because your great-great-grandfather Tyler did this over here.
I got a question for you.
2030.
I got a question for you.
2030. What?
And this isn't me being a troll and just trying to muddy the water. I'm someone who, well, I can say this genuinely. I'm definitely someone who could whatever, have success or feel success without any kids.
Okay, good.
And passing it
That's
down.
good.
And passing it down. But but for you, in your philosophy, that's kind of the definition of success.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not making mine right or you're wrong. I think that's strong. If you can say, I can reap the benefits of success without an offspring. That's tough. Because you have nothing of a bloodline to really like solidify it either, you know? That's tough. Not tough as in impossible, but tough as in that's courageous, honestly.
well, we're both still doing the same thing because, dude, I swear, everything comes back to will to power. The reason why you want to do what you want to do is because it would make you feel powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's life. that's why anybody does anything. I'm telling you, even if it's because they're scared or they're doing something that's weak, it's because they chose it because it still makes them feel powerful that they've chosen it.
Even in the moment.
No matter what it is, everything comes back to that. So we're still both doing the same thing.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of people can say that though, right? A lot of men operate off of that feeling of success and powerful, no matter what it is though. You know, like,
well, it goes back to how we started the podcast today, right? A lot of people want to get money, and then and that'll make a lot of people feel powerful.
yeah,
Back to the beginning of the podcast. The main reason why is because we wanna gain something in the future. That's what money is. It's just for gain in the future. It's we sacrifice for it to use it into the future.
yeah.
So I mean that's why it's so important to have money, and that does make someone powerful. Hey, I have this. I can use it now. Here, there's the money. Give me it. So I mean, boom. Yeah, that's why it's important. It's power.
Absolutely.
So
I definitely agree.
So let's go back to morality.
Okay, you like morality concept? Let's bring it.
I really like morality, and
I can't say that I think much about what this even is, you know? So maybe give us a little rundown. What is morality? Morality is the idea of where humans don't live forever, right? And immortality and morality are concept? Oh no, we talk about morals. Morality. Morals. I thought about mortality.
Well, because they're kind of the same word. I'm thinking of it as in the right and wrong again.
Okay.
So this is a good one.
Yeah.
People don't play ball with it though. You say this to people, you might do the same too, and they just look at you like, I don't see any point in what you just said.
I hear that a lot.
Maybe, yeah, I probably do too. I mean, studying philosophy or looking into philosophy has no utility. There's no reason to do it. Nope, nobody cares. It's not striking. It doesn't matter. There's really no point to it.
It sucks.
But it is fun.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It's very fun.
So
it calls for some of the best debates or conversations.
Kind of sometimes. It maybe depends who you talk to. I bring it up a lot, and people don't, like I said, people don't feel it. People don't want to even play ball with it. They're like, it's more important. I gotta get money. I'm going to spend time thinking and talking to some people about that.
Yeah.
But check this out. So, same guy, the Nietzsche guy. People, let's say you're going to do something wrong.
Okay.
This is what he says.
You got break the law by driving too fast.
This is what he says. People, let's say you're going to do something wrong. You don't do it now because you're scared of maybe the consequence of going to prison.
Okay.
So now you don't do it, and then after you say, "Oh, I'm being moral. I'm a moral person now. I'm being moral." The point I'm making is, are you really being moral, or are you just scared to do it? I know. Well, that's not a question. That's what people do. They say, I'm not.
It's one or the other. We're not coming at nobody.
Well, no, so I ain't going out, breaking the law, hurting people, nothing.
No. We're both very good law-abiding citizens. We enjoy cigars, we work hard.
Well, I don't know about law-abiding citizens.
We lay down, but we sleep the same way. We have sleeps on mattress for mattress. We're not sponsored.
But you get the point I'm making, kind of, right? Like, here's an example. I want to do something wrong, or I'm going to do something wrong.
Yeah.
But then I think, oh crap, all the other people are going to look down on me. There's going to be consequences from society.
Right.
So I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. I'm scared. I don't want that. I'm scared now.
Yeah.
And now that I've not done it, I say, I'm just a moral person. I just like doing the right thing. Is there anything profound in that? Any truth to it?
There's probably truth to it, but I don't think there's anything profound to it because what is profound? Profound is when somebody maybe has a courageous action.
Well, no, I meant profound as in like striking. Anything.
Yeah, whenever and ask each other, and what is it, like 120 or something?
Yeah.
That's profound. Well, like,
Exactly.
I don't see this every day.
Exactly.
But you're right. If they didn't decide to break the law and fly down the highway, it wouldn't be profound to me. Just another bike, just another type of just driving down the road.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So you said.
I guess I agree.
Well, you said no, and a lot of people say no. I've run up to a couple people, and they're like, "Yeah, so what? It means nothing. Who cares? It's literally a place of sentence. I got more important things to do. I don't have to think anymore about it."
Yeah.
Here's how I think about it more. Here's how I think about it more. No, I don't think it is true.
Okay.
Because I think that should mean something. I think that should mean something, and
That you have free will.
no, get out of here.
I could have walked the hallway about there, but I didn't.
No.
That's free will. That was not free will.
Because
I'll tell you what, it took away my free will because now my truck doesn't even go over 50. So now I can't even drive 100 with it. It took away my free will. I don't have the right to say, if I put my foot up to the floor, I'm going to go 95 and leave scared at me. You know?
just to combat you, maybe why that possibly couldn't be free will is because the crowd, the society is staring at you when you're about to do the wrong thing, essentially. And so, like, you're not free to choose it because you have all this pressure to not do it.
Well, I think it goes back to the idea of last week we talked about where do you care what people think about you or not? Right? I mean, this has to come in here somewhere.
No.
You don't think so?
Well, how about this, right?
Yeah.
You can choose that or that. But if you choose that, millions of people are going to stare at you and call you a bad person and evil and put you in jail.
I could say, well,
is it free? Are you free to choose it now? It's not. I mean, you still can, but it's not free. You got a bunch of pressure.
Well, it's about what you could do with this. There's like a sign checks. Bro.
No. They aren't like fast notes. They aren't pens and matches. They're just two random things. You can choose this or that, but there's tons of pressure if you choose that tied to consequences in prison from billions and billions of people.
Okay.
You're not free to just choose it now.
Yeah.
I can't freely I have a bunch of pressure now.
You're looking at a guillotine on one side.
Yeah.
You know? What the social acceptance would it be?
Well, you're free to choose which one. I'm not free. I got all this pressure. That's the point we're making. So
I got the guillotine on one side and a chocolate cake on the other.
So maybe that's how I
one's just in bed, the one's diabetes, right? So now I'm fat and ugly and people don't like to look at me. Or I'm dead and who cares?
So maybe that's one way how I just shot down your free will question.
I guess so.
So back to where I was going with that statement. So
and it goes back to morality.
Yeah, so about people, I don't know if people are being moral or if it's fear of everything, making them not choose that, and now saying, hey, I'm a moral person, see, I didn't do that. I thought of it, I didn't do it. I'm scared to do it because of all the fear that's behind me.
Fear. So fear and greed operate the world.
Hold up. So I feel like that's the point. I feel like, I say feel because feelings don't matter.
It's just a word.
But I feel like I just made such a striking, unbelievable sentence.
Yeah.
And I feel like it should mean something.
It makes you think a lot. They both definitely make you think.
Well, I think what it should do, what it does for me is it makes me think, maybe morality is BS. Yeah. Maybe good and evil is BS.
Okay. This is definitely possible.
Maybe it's all BS. If really I chose that because I'm scared to choose it because of all the social acceptance and everything, like that should weigh into how I look at everything. That's where I was getting with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know, it definitely makes me think a lot about. I'm like I don't know, if life's like a game, and like the ground that we're walking on is part of the game, and every decision I make has fear involved from society.
Yeah.
I now have to start changing. Like I have to start changing the rules. I don't know. I can't just start labeling things so like
black and white.
Yeah, so black and white. Like, oh, it's just bad and good now.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm trying to find my. Well, I'm trying to find my own. That's how I'm trying to find my own new.
I agree.
Morality.
And, I definitely agree because it's hard though. It's so hard. Because talking about acceptance or not acceptance would be the main question, right? That's where we get to.
That's where we're at now. Yeah.
Yeah. Charles Manson didn't care about acceptance. Sheesh.
Well, I mean, I disagree. We would disagree, right? Because obviously he did get accepted by the people that he had follow him or whatever.
Yep.
Obviously, that was.
So somebody will accept you somewhere.
Well,
That's another good point.
Well, right, you read someone's actions to understand them and what they want, what they really want. So obviously that was super important to him. So obviously,
Absolutely.
He did care about acceptance.
He did. Okay, yeah. Boom. Finally got the torch tonight after all episode. Well, it's got to refill it, I guess.
So
we've had a few of you guys leaving comments down below in our last video. Some really good points for me. I don't have that what they left in front of me, but it was like 3 paragraphs. And yeah, keep on doing that. Keep on interacting with us. Let us know what you guys think and feel about any of these topics, because I definitely read them. He doesn't have so much time to read so often, so sometimes I'll shoot a screenshot or let him know, who's involved or what's going on. So we definitely pay attention and see all you guys' thoughts, comments, and everything below. So definitely keep leaving those. It's encouraging to us. Drop the like. Be sure to subscribe. Share us on social media. And every little bit helps.
Nice. So, you want to talk about kids a little bit?
If you have any questions, but off the top of my head, I can't really say I think about this on a regular basis. I think about, before I even thought to begin the thought of children, I think of personal independence first.
Okay.
If you know what that means, like financial independence, to where I'm not going to be worried about anything. I don't want to have kids to have a set amount of $75,000 in a separate account that's not going to be withdrawing for bills on a monthly basis and things like that. Before I have kids, I want to have 75 saved in an account I don't touch.
Okay.
I actually just had a conversation with her the other day too, where, it turned into an argument, because I'm not too big on sharing immediately as soon as we find out that we have conceived or are expecting or anything. I want to just silently kill it. I want to buy the pack and play and the crib and everything silently all by myself, and then have it all set up, and now I'll tell people, look, if you want to buy clothes, this is things I would help with. If you want to buy diapers, it's something I would help with. But I don't want people to feel it's a personal obligation of theirs because I said I have a child on the way. No, I need help. It's not a handout.
Do you feel like you said you wanted to wait until you had 75,000 to have a kid?
Yeah.
Being the person that you are, do you really think that's the right decision to make?
No, I do believe in the right time is the right time. If you don't have this certain amount of value saved up just yet, I don't think you failed. I just think that it's not bad to have goals. Yeah. It was more for a goal, personal self of being a man,
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
So
there's not a right or wrong time, I don't believe. Because I believe I'm going to love this child no matter what.
Exactly.
And love is the right answer. I'll always be ready to love a child.
Of course.
Yeah. They're just so pure and you want to just guide them to be a young entrepreneur. If my kids are in Canyon in 6th grade, I won't be mad at them. The principal calls me. I'm like, okay, let him get his money. What's the money? You're not each to pay taxes in your law?
Yeah, right.
You would?
So, when you think of raising kids, how much of it has to do with how you were raised affect how you would raise them?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
No, I reflect on this all the time because it's okay, I know how I grew up. For my 13th birthday, even younger than that, I forget how old I was when I got my first skateboard. I was probably 7 or 8, mad young.
Yeah.
And that was them saying, here, go entertain yourself. I don't have time for this. So if I was going to take that and change it for where I'm going to be with my children, I always have time. You know, that's why I want to be an owner of successful businesses, but I have other people going to do the work for me, and we all get paid. You know, these people don't, hopefully I have people that are still young enough before they have kids in the family, they can save money and listen to me as a boss and a mentor and say, listen, you just got into this relationship with this girl, good, you're fresh out of high school, chill, but let's do this, get you in a nice whip, get you on your way to where you're at your mom's house and living in your own apartment or whatever. You're successful now on your own to where you're financially stable by yourself, and now get a girl involved. But, you know, then this will come with other lessons as they're going to go through on their own personal journeys of their relationship, being a young lad, you know?
So the main thing you want to give your kid is your time?
Yeah, my main goal by doing that is by owning another business to where I have more time. The bus gets picked up at 7:20 in the morning. I don't leave my house until 8, so I make sure they're dressed for food and on the bus. And then I know the bus comes back at 3:45. Okay, I'm home by 3:30 and waiting at the bottom of the door with the mail in my hand. Like, okay, ready to come home. And then we do homework together, play outside. I believe that proper playtime with a parent or a loving guardian is very important for a child because it teaches them things. It also gives them the opportunity to ask questions. Why is this game played this way? Oh, what if we play this game but change the rules a little bit? Because then you can teach them different values in life and viewpoints, you know? Kind of like lectures that you and I have here now in the current time will hopefully help reflect them to them later. Would you ever have nieces and nephews that plan on watching us, but have said, I can't do it right now, you guys talk above my head. Okay, that's fine. But in 2 years, she had said, I would like to try to tune in and see what I can learn from you guys. You know, which I think is already inspiring. Already we've made an impact on people. And that encouraged me to keep going because hopefully it promotes other people to free think, you know, and not conform. I don't like conformity. I really don't. I don't like when people follow something because the crowd and all that stuff, you know.
Don't get me started.
You see what I'm saying, though? I don't see courage in that. Be courageous. Achilles' heel. You can't defeat him. He's the biggest giant we've ever saw. Then he went out there and slaughtered like the giants or whatever. You know, I'm sure we've all read the story of Achilles' heel, and if not, I need to reference it because I haven't in a long time. This was like 5th grade. I really listened to that book. So,
do you like how else could you describe what kind of dad you want to be? Like, would you be a strict dad?
No, I'm not a strict individual. I'm not strict at all. I mean, okay, if I'm a boss and I hire people to do a certain task, if I hear from a customer, oh, this employee refused to do this way, okay, guess what? Maybe I'll take them back and we talk. Look, the customer's always right. I know it sucks to say it, but it's true. We're going to their house. Every day they have to leave their house and see this flower now not facing the north because they wanted it facing that way, and now it's facing northeast because you didn't want to listen to what they have to say. So I know how that would make me feel as a customer. I want my customer to feel like you're top priority, we're on your property, and this is what it is.
So that's what you do for your kid. You listen to them and...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that listening is a big part of life. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, as we always say.
I'm just down, so you got me thinking, so you said you wouldn't be strict on your kids, right?
No, none of us. None of us are really called for it, but I think we can avoid that before it gets out of hand.
So, and of course, right, that has to come from your past.
Yeah.
How do you think?
From my past? Well, I'll tell you this. Being afraid in your household and feeling trapped because someone doesn't know how to manage their own emotions can definitely strike some slashes, if you will, on your heart, your gashes, right? Like, maybe you're not abused physically, but emotionally you're always scared, or you see certain things and then you try to avoid it because you know this outcome could lead to this, and I didn't like that the last time it happened, right? So I'm not talking about like your typical spankings and whatever around the house because maybe that's how you get smacked in the cheek, right? Okay. The way I raise my kids is definitely not that either, but I can see where that can come into play. But then also, someone also going over the top and taking control into a different level of more of a mental game of where you desire your child or someone, someone that you consider to be a peer to fear you. I don't think that's ever correct. So that's why I don't go to strictness. I go to understanding, and we can both talk about something and get to the same conclusion. Or not the same conclusion, but at least understand where I'm coming from.
Do you think a kid should fear their dad?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that fear is a proper way to control anything, any situation. What do we say whenever a cop wants to control a situation out of fear? He's
Irrational.
Maybe, whatever people may say in the newspaper you might be able to read, this out of control type of thing. Because they let their social power that you and I were just talking about earlier go to their head. And, socially, the judge will listen to me before you, so I'm over you, so I can treat you as I wish. I don't think that's right. So I think treat everybody equally until they start to disrespect you or betray you in some way, and then you have to straighten that out. And I don't mean with violence either.
Here's what I thought you were going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say, and I still think it's right. It has to be right. I thought you were going to say, basically, I'm not going to be strict on my kids because people weren't strict with me and it worked.
Yeah.
It must be right.
I could agree with that.
Must be.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
People were not overly strict with me.
And it worked.
It didn't work.
So that's why you do it.
People were understanding with me as a child.
Makes sense.
I would get into a fight at school and get kicked out. Tell her where this happened. Well, I was being bullied from this kid. I listened to it for 3 weeks straight, and then I finally smashed his fingers in between a chair. So, okay, do you understand why this was wrong and you can't do this? Yeah, I get it. So I didn't do it again, because we came to a conclusion of that was not the right move to take. I had to pay for a hospital bill for somebody I didn't even care for in the first place. Someone was picking on me, and I got to pay him $850 because I hurt his finger, because he hurt my feelings. It's the eye for eye thing never really worked. You can have your son put 100 nails in a fence, right? But then take away all the nails. The nails are no longer there, but the scars will be there forever. I think that's important. That's an important concept to grasp.
Do you think being strict on your kid could help prepare them for life?
I can see the benefits in it, but I can also see where it could go too far.
Do you think being understanding with your kid can help prepare them for life?
Yes. Because proper communication in any way, in a business, say you're trying to go and whenever you go to get your first job, what are you doing? You're trying to tell them and convince them why they should invest in you for the next 40 hours a week, right? Why should I choose you and not the next person who actually has a resume, because this is your first job ever? You're going to do the best you can out of communication, not frustration.
I'm going to rebuttal and stir up some drama.
Yeah, go for it.
You've been alive, you're 27, right? You've been alive for 27 years.
Our kids, we could agree.
Huh?
I guess we could agree. Alive for 27 years.
Been around for about 27 years on this planet.
Conscious for probably 24.
I guess let's just call you adult life. Let's call it like 10 years or 11, since you're like 16-ish or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it that. I would say it's more like
Work with me.
9 years, right?
Work with me.
Right.
11 years.
Okay.
Maybe a little more.
Maybe a little less.
And that time, how, in the real world,
Yeah.
how much or how often have people tried to genuinely understand you?
How often? I found it, well,
A lot or a little?
a lot. I would say more than less. More than less.
So,
More times would someone be willing to sit down and try to understand where you're coming from in a situation that maybe you're wrong than them just blowing up, snapping, and saying you're fired, or whatever the repercussions might be at the work.
so other than your family, because that's why.
Well, I'm talking about business.
Well,
I said the word fired, which insinuates I'm not talking about family.
No, but I'm clarifying what I said.
Okay.
So, because I said in the real world.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that,
I don't think of family being real.
that's the point I'm making.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I have a question to this too.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
So, other than family, in the real world, name 10 people who genuinely tried to understand you.
I don't know if I can name them all on thing, but there is probably
You can't you name 10 or no?
I can name 10, probably.
Go for it.
But I don't know if I can name them on thing.
No. Just name 10 people other than family in the real world in the last 11 years.
Can I name their role in my life and not names?
Well, how about this?
Okay.
Can you name 10?
I could.
Can you name 20?
No. I haven't had that many experiences with 20 people like that.
Can you name 20 people in this world in the last 11 years who didn't try, who did not try to understand you?
No.
That can't be true.
20 people that did not try to understand?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You probably named 20 today.
Anybody, when we're talking about understanding, are we talking about anybody that's willing to sit down and you even give one excuse and they say, okay, I accept your whatever? Would that be what we're getting at? Okay.
No, I'm not sure. I'm trying to be general here, not too specific.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel like I'm right.
Okay. I probably could have been. No, probably not. 20 people that did not take me serious enough to sit down and have a genuine conversation to understand both sides.
More general than that.
Okay.
Because
Even more general than that?
Because even, well, to get specific, even if you are sitting across from someone, they still may not trying to be generally understanding your point or you.
Of course. I agree. So block one ear and think about on half side of the brain what they're going to respond with you before you're finished with your sentence, right?
So remember, I'm trying to throw some drama in this and debate you.
Yeah.
Basically, say that you're wrong.
Right.
So here's why I think I'm right, and I'll explain how I think I was trying to do that.
Okay.
So bringing it back to what you were saying, like a couple things, right? I'm gonna try to understand my kid. I think that'll prepare him for the real world.
Yes.
As I was trying to do with these questions, which I think now you might get,
Right.
you realize in your 11 years, there's been 30, 40 times more people who didn't care to understand you, don't care about understanding you,
Right.
and very small amount who actually really do want to get to understand you and genuinely care and all that stuff.
Right. Those people that genuinely care, though, are the people that you want to keep in your life.
No argument there.
To a degree.
No argument there.
No, I know.
So
Saying the facts.
yep.
Yeah.
So the one point I'm making where I feel that I was right is basically I don't know if that is going to if that helps prepare a kid for the real world.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people out here that don't care about your ration, right? The rationalities of your actions, right?
Yeah, I mean,
There's not enough people out here that genuinely care to listen, even if you are a good communicator.
yeah,
Exactly. I can agree with you. I can definitely agree with you. And yes, I have had managers or bosses in the past that say, okay, cool, excuses, and oh well, you're fired. You know, I've had that. And I was like, really? Like, I just gave you the best rundown ever on why this went absolutely wrong. I'm willing to take responsibility for it, and I'm still cooked.
wow.
So yeah, no, that's never happened. That's even happened with teachers, like mentors and peers.
Dude, yeah, of course. It probably happened 20 times today.
Probably, I don't know, maybe.
So, but to be fair, to play devil's advocate on your side of the point is, yeah, it may not set them up for the real world, but yeah, it will help them be a better communicator in person. Yeah. It was just what you want to do as a parent.
Yeah, right. That's my personal choice, and I don't think I'm going to sway from the choice because even if that may not help them with their first 7 jobs, even maybe their first 12 jobs, it will help them in their relationships with their partners. Be good communicators, someone who can sit down and listen and actually say, okay, I love you and I care about you, and let's talk about this together.
Yep.
I'm going to state my side, not making a point of if I'm right or wrong. This is just where I was personally coming from. And now you tell me yours. And in that relationship, long term, that is what good communication is.
I agree.
Yeah. That stuff could change a lot for a relationship.
Tell me what you think about this sentence.
What's up?
Relating to a dad and a son relationship.
Yeah?
Bond.
Okay.
You think the son looks and watches the dad and thinks, I want what he has. I desire what he has.
I would say more times than less, absolutely.
Well, you have to.
Right, because you're the only masculine visual that he has to reflect off of on a regular basis.
Yeah.
How does he come home after work and treat mom? How does he come home after work and treat me and my siblings? You know? How does he interact with his friends? When his friends are around, is my mom and me around? That's another question that they could ask, because I don't believe that a gentleman would have a conversation like so, you and I do, while kids run around or our spouses or significant others sit around and listen to us in a third-party source, because I think that the gentleman time, if it's an hour or 2 hours, I believe that needs to be where gentlemen go to express themselves and grow together, you know? It's like steel sharpens steel. Right?
Okay.
So obviously a man can't be sharpened by his woman unless if there is a dynamic like that, which is far between, you know? It's rare.
Well, I guess you're right. A woman shouldn't be sharpening her man.
Right.
She should be just adding fuel to
his drive of success.
Yeah.
I agree. Because men build castles, women move in.
I've heard that. I've heard that. So, where was I going to go with that? I think it was about, so would you want your child, let's just use a son.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Would you want your son to have like a bunch of empathy? And if so, how do you teach a kid or a person to have empathy?
That's a really good question.
I know.
Empathy. Empathy is the ability to see something in an emotional state and then rationalize, okay, I understand what you're feeling, right? Like, empathy is being empathetic.
So, sympathy.
Okay, sympathy.
Sympathy is like, how I think of sympathy is like, that's a sad situation that I see.
Yeah.
How I see empathy is like, man, I feel how bad of a situation that is.
Yeah.
Like it's more internalized and personal.
Yeah.
So how do you teach someone to have empathy? And maybe a better question, is it possible to? Maybe is the better question.
I think from maybe because I don't know, because I do know that this is why therapists exist, and they can say a sociopath is not an empathetic person.
That's true.
Or is that a bold statement?
What?
Is that a bold statement? Is that wrong?
No, that is what sociopathy is, not psychopath.
No,
but a sociopath is someone. Sociopathy, there's a couple things to it, but the one that I have off memory is that, it's someone who lacks empathy.
Right.
And like psychopath is like, they don't lack it, they just have none of it, and a whole bunch more stuff.
Can you name a sociopath that you think you could teach empathy to? And do you think they're born that way? Is my other question.
So, that's a good question. So, and the reason why, it's a really good question, and that's the reason why I brought this up. I think that I actually am a sociopath.
Because you cannot internalize someone else's hardships?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not can't, because I'm definitely not a psychopath at all. You know me wrong, but I have a lot of emotion.
Right. Yeah, I know.
But I lack empathy. I lack like empathy.
You know, I think to a degree I do too, because of the way I can cut people off and I just you know, like, well, people have a real hard time with that.
Well, because that one point, I'm not saying you're wrong. I was gonna say I don't know you well. Maybe don't know you well enough to know if you're a sociopath, but I can figure it out. But before we get to that, I think what you touched on maybe is more of like narcissism almost, because like
okay, explain it again because
so you were like I can cut people off and basically not care.
Oh yeah, that would be a narcissist.
I think that's more of a narcissist, like me, because I'm so me, I just don't care about other people.
Yeah. Could be a bad thing.
But even just having we can get to that too. But just not really having the capacity to like
empathize.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know if this is a teachable trait or if it's just something that some humans have and some don't. I don't have enough experience with sociopaths, I don't believe, to be able to say, oh, I recognized a sociopath as a young child, and then watched them grow into what it now is on a dramatic scale, drastic, if you will. So I don't know, but I would like to believe that everything's changing, but I don't think anything in the world is permanent. I'll leave it at that. I don't think everything in the world is permanent.
That's fair. I know you're the circle guy.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to make a point to remind me to bring up narcissism if I forget, because there's something I want to talk about with that.
Okay.
That relates to that.
All right.
So, you remember how once we talked about, like, attachment styles?
Yeah, yep.
About a
good book.
It is a really good book. Oh, you did read that book.
Like 3 times.
Guys, yeah, so
I showed that book to the girl I'm with now.
that's a really good book.
Where we're starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of how that works, and I think it relates to, it relates to almost everything. But childhood relates to like
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
I believe like 95% of your life is based off of all your childhood upbringing was.
a lot is very true. I agree.
Yeah.
So one of your questions is like, oh, how does someone maybe become a sociopath? And I think it relates to the attachment styles even. I don't know if you remember, because it was a long time ago we read that book. It's probably almost a year ago now.
I know.
But
Dude, think about how many books we've read.
I know. So I don't know if you remember, but do you remember what makes someone an avoidant attachment style?
No, I gotta review the book, fam. I'm not
So
I have not listened to it in a long time.
and I wouldn't even say just an avoidant, but
Avoidant? Well, I've been told I'm an avoidant because I'm somebody that, I don't know why.
I can ask.
I don't remember.
I wish I had just take this. We gotta bring up narcissism, and then
We gotta take notes for the next one.
we gotta bring up narcissism, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions to see if I can determine your attachment style.
Okay.
Which I remember what you said it was and what I thought it was, but we'll dive deeper into it in a sec.
Yeah.
So what develops these attachment styles, and for example, the main one for an avoidant, which also could relate to sociopath, see, I'm piecing it all together,
Yeah.
is the emotional reaction that they got from their parents.
Okay. Yeah.
Was it what they expected to, like, was it an emotional reaction that they expected to have?
Yeah.
Or wasn't? Were they predictable? So could a kid go to their parent, expect this emotional reaction, and if it's one that is not what they expected to get from coming forth and, hey, Dad, I just got home, I got to A my math test. The kid's maybe expecting the dad to be happy.
Yep.
The dad reacts in a way that the kid didn't anticipate emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And, for example, if let's say it's one that the kid didn't like, they would develop an avoidant attachment to where, they would just...
They would avoid telling you anything.
Yes.
Because you're unpredictable.
Yeah, so the book's clicking again. So, I think that could also relate to being a sociopath. Just, many things do. But I think, part of that, you potentially, not getting the emotional reaction from your caregiver.
You emotionally avoid anything, right? Like, I don't want to be overzealous in the time that I'm happy because maybe they can use this against me too to bash it.
Yeah.
Oh, this made you excited?
Yeah.
Wow, this was so stupid. You wasted so much time on our project that I came out like ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what? I walked out of that. Like, I love this picture.
Yep.
And they're like, they're completely dismissive of you because of your emotion behind it or whatever it may be.
Yep.
And their acceptance of it or not.
Yep, it has a profound effect on kids, and it develops their attachment style. So let's go to yours. Let's go to yours, because it goes deeper than that. So typically, there's like 3 attachment styles. There's typically a 4th one, but apparently it's extremely rare. One of them out of the 3 is a healthy attachment, which this is even more rare. It's not rare. It's very rare to find someone who's...
I do know that.
So you probably have one of the 2.
Yeah.
It's anxious or avoidant.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you a couple questions.
Go for it.
So, do you crave intimacy?
No.
Crave it.
Nope.
The next step, this is for you. So try to be real.
Yeah.
Do you crave intimacy?
Nope.
You don't.
You can ask anyone I've ever been in a relationship with, and no. I really personally, I desire solitude. I like to be away from most things and spend my own time as I wish.
When your partner's not around,
Yeah. Do you miss them?
No.
Oh,
Do you feel anxiety or anxious?
no. Not at all.
Do you worry about what they're doing?
No. I have in the past, but with wisdom and the new partner I'm with now, no. I have in the past. I can agree.
Okay, you have in the
I
past.
have in the past.
All right.
I think with the right partner, a lot of these struggles go away.
Do you? Yeah. Well, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Equally yoked is something very important.
Well, yeah. Well, when you're one of those two attachment styles and not the healthy one, yeah, you need someone to show you what a healthy attachment style is.
I agree.
But so those two questions. Now, let's see where we can go with. I don't want to give it away too much. Do you know? And it's hard now because you do have like two, like you said, you have two of you. You have you before you met who you're with now,
Yep.
which is more of a healthy attachment.
Yep.
And then you in the past,
Which was reckless.
yeah, I know. So you decide which answers you want to go with.
Of course. Well, I'm going to go with my most current emotional answers to this, but I can always reflect off of where I once spent.
Okay. So the next question is. Then you train of thought.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Do you know how to go about asking or getting intimacy?
Yes. Yes, I would agree. I think that I would think that I do.
All right. So hold up.
Yeah.
You don't crave it,
No.
but you know how to get it.
Yes, I believe in a healthy manner.
How do you go about getting intimacy?
I think it would be communication, and
When I say intimacy, what do you think of?
I think of cuddling, fireplace, glass of champagne. Just came in with my nice cigar, and I'm feeling it.
You're feeling cuddly?
All right, cuddling. That's what I think intimacy would be.
All right.
Maybe lose some birds and the bees conversation. But
So
not normally, because that's not normally who I am. I mean, I'm normally like, I'm going with a short kiss,
yeah.
and I go to bed.
So
tomorrow.
So not using Amber or not using your girl here.
Yeah.
When you think about being with a woman, and I don't mean sexually, I don't just mean sexually, just being with a woman, whatever you think of when I say that.
In the present self.
Well, just hold up.
Well, that's what I would think of.
Do you think, keep losing my train of thought. Think of being with a woman. Oh, do you think, would you be more comfortable having it an exclusive thing or more of a casual thing? Comfort.
Explain these two, because I'm lost now.
Yep. So you're with a woman.
Yeah, what is exclusive?
It's just me and you, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or this is a casual thing.
And maybe you talk to other people?
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not on my list at all.
All right.
Can't do it.
Because no.
Okay.
Well, I guess it doesn't answer the question. The point is just, well, let me set the stage.
Yeah. If it's a monogamy versus a play.
No.
Okay.
So, let's say there's this dream woman.
Okay.
Keep your girlfriend out of this.
Yeah.
There's a dream woman, smart, witty, funny, you can have conversation, she's really attractive, she's attracted to you. You guys are going to enter in sexual stuff as well, and she's this woman. Would you rather make her your girlfriend and be just me and you exclusive thing, or this is a casual thing, I love all the benefits that you offer, we are attracted to each other, and it's casual, or it's just me and you, boyfriend, girlfriend? What do you feel more comfortable with?
Personally, I've never slept with someone outside of a relationship with them.
No, well, that's what we'll pretend, right? This person doesn't even exist.
Yeah, right.
But there's this dream it's a pretend
But
scenario.
yeah, I don't think
What do you feel more comfortable with?
Yeah, it would have to be an ongoing relationship. It would have to be. That's the only way I operate.
All right.
I need all of your time and dedication, and then vice versa, I give you all my time and dedication, which is not literally of me calling out of work or her calling out of work or any of this, but your free time is when you're with me, it's 100% of you. It's not holding back answers or whatever, little BS games might be played.
Do you ever push your partner away?
I don't think so.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so. Push them away? No, I don't think I've ever pushed anybody away.
All right, well, believe it or not, from what I've heard, I think you might have a healthy attachment style right now.
Oh, well, good.
Well, the main one is not craving intimacy and knowing how to get, but still knowing how to get it.
Yeah, well, I do remember that part from the book too, and I remember hearing that and thinking, huh. And then they had the little test in chapter 8, boom, I nailed it perfect.
Yeah.
I think I did it.
So, because the main one with an anxious is that they do crave intimacy.
But they don't know how to share to go about it correctly.
Nope.
For the woman?
Oh no, I said anxious.
Oh, sorry.
Anxious does crave intimacy.
Yeah.
And they feel anxious if they don't have it.
Mm.
Basically, they'll do anything to get it.
Which is where it comes from.
Yep, they'll do anything to get it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Start a fight or
a fight in the hallway.
Just whatever. Or
love me.
Just whatever. Yeah, we'll do anything. Whether wrong, there's nothing more important. And then an avoidant. I mean, everyone craves intimacy. But yeah, an avoidant doesn't know how to get it.
Yeah.
Like, it won't just directly come and ask for it. Or it won't just directly say, hey, I need to cuddle with you for 4 hours straight right now. I had a rough day at work. They're just not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
I agree.
And then the healthy one doesn't crave it, likes it. Or, I mean, you know what I mean by crave. Yeah. Crave such a strong word. Yeah, crave such a strong word. Intimacy is great right now. Don't need it.
Yep.
It's cool. I obviously like you. Yeah, we can be intimate right now. But when I feel I need it, oh, trust me, you'll know. I'll tell you. Right. So that's a good way to kind of distinguish.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, and I can definitely see it too. It's like where I know people that are anxious, like you were saying, whereas if they don't get a text for a certain amount of time, then I'll blow someone's phone up, and when I say like, "Where have you been?" And you're like, "What? I was getting gas after work and a few other things, running errands."
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. They're basically catching the house on fire if you hurry up to come home because you think there's something wrong, right?
Exactly.
So you fly home, something's going on. No, I just need a hug right now. Okay, go. Get my hug, whatever. But yeah, no, I think I'm definitely more along the lines of, I'm okay with as much cuddling or whatever as she's willing to offer. But if it's not at all, then I'm okay with still going and laying down because I'll be just as warm underneath my blanket the night after.
Okay. Yeah. So, narcissism.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to just conflate that. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do or that they relate, but just for what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm going to relate that to arrogance.
Okay.
Or being arrogant. Yep.
All right.
And I've heard someone dispute this, and they took it to the extreme.
Okay.
So let's see what you got. So, let's see how I word this. I'm trying to be a little careful with my words here. So, well, I'll say what I think. But like I said, they made a great point, and where they took it, I think they were right.
Okay.
Let's see if you take it to the same place. Let's see what you take it. Here's the sentence that I made.
Okay.
Basically, I was like, being arrogant, I don't think it's too bad.
Being cocky is not bad.
Well, I said arrogant.
What is the word arrogant?
That's so good, yeah. I'm glad you asked that because I am a positive person.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm a positive person. So I brought it to the positive side of arrogant.
Okay.
She brought it to the negative.
Okay.
I shouldn't say she. They brought it to the negative. They brought it to, I know everything. I don't need you to tell me anything because I already know everything.
Okay.
Right? I'm the smartest person in the world. Since I'm so smart, I don't need your lessons. I don't need anything. Advice. I'm very smart.
I agree. I do no wrong, so I don't need correction.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get
so
it.
that's where that person brought it, and of course, that's right. That's a great point.
Yeah. So I think that it's okay if you're arrogant with a tint of humility, though. Is that possible?
Well, before, so I brought it to the positive side of arrogant. I won't explain what that means, and then you can think of it however you want.
Yeah.
So, but let's say we're both talking about the positive side of arrogant. Or let's say we're trying to talk about the middle of it. Because that person went all the way to the other side, how it's only a negative thing.
Drastic.
Very drastic.
Right. Well, you and I sometimes take things drastic to the point.
So let's try to be in the middle of it.
Okay.
And then let's now hear the sentence again.
Yeah.
I think being arrogant isn't so much a bad thing. Now, what do you think about that?
I would agree with you. I think that being arrogant sometimes is not a bad thing, is if you can balance it with humility, like I was saying. Like, if you can be arrogant yet humble enough to sit down and listen to somebody else's point of view, then you could say, okay, but I still believe what I said was right. Okay, that's a good thing, but you can still see where both could come from.
Okay.
And that's where the humility comes in. It's like, I could see how that could work for you, but for me, this works.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. We should probably wrap up for tonight.
Wrapping up tonight, guys, and thanks again for joining us for another Skoom Speech. Peace and blessings.
See you next time, everybody.
Drop a like, comment, share, subscribe.